Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Human Biology Part 11. So without wasting any more of our time, let's go directly to our quiz. What are the similarities and differences between cilia and flagella in both structure and purpose? Both consist of pairs of microtubules in a ring, but flagella are longer than cilia. Generally, flagella move the cell while cilia move something past the cell. What is the extracellular matrix and where is it found? Supportive compounds outside the cell of connective tissues, consisting of fibers, proteins, and water in various amounts, depending on the type of tissue. Name the three types of cell junctions between animal cells. How do they differ? Adhesion, tight and gap junctions. Different proteins that hold cells together more or less firmly. Describe the structure of phospholipids and explain how that relates to their function in cells. Phospholipids have a charged polar end and a nonpolar tail of fatty chains. The polar end are water-soluble, and the nonpolar end are hydrophobic, such that they align themselves into thin layers when in aqueous solutions. Name three molecules that can easily diffuse through phospholipid membranes. Carbon dioxide, oxygen, and urea. Proteins. Attached to cytoskeleton, transport molecules across membrane, serve to recognize signal molecules outside the cell. Why is the plasma membrane called a fluid mosaic? The lipids are not rigid. The components can float and move around. Proteins and other components are embedded in the lipid layer and create a mosaic. Explain how membranes affect chemical reactions in cells. They create separate compartments that allow a chemical environment which favors particular reactions. B. They create surface area in which enzymes can be arranged to efficiently perform a series of chemical reactions on solutes. Cholesterol. Inserts into lipid bilayer and makes it more rigid. Diffusion. The net passive movement of particles, those are atoms, ions, or molecules, from a region in which they are in higher concentration to regions of low concentration. It continues until the concentration of the substances is uniform throughout. Gradient. The process of particles, which are sometimes called solutes, moving through solution or gas from an area with a higher number of particles to an area with a lower number of particles. The areas are typically separated by a membrane. Osmosis. The spontaneous net movement of solvent molecules through a semi-permeable membrane into a region of higher solute concentration in the direction that tends to equalize the solute concentration on the two sides. Movement of water. When does passive transport require particular proteins? If a molecule is too large or hydrophilic and cannot diffuse through the membrane, this includes water, sugars, and amino acids. How can cells control molecules moved by passive transport? By changing the gradients, as when solutes are moved to cause osmosis of water. By changing the number of channel proteins. Water. By using gated channel proteins, that is sodium and potassium. By using facilitated transport proteins that only move specific molecules, that is glucose. Hypotonic solution. Cells swell with water and burst. Hypertonic. Water leaves the cell and the cell shrinks. Isotonic. No net change in size, although water still moves across cell membrane. What are three key aspects of active transport? Requires energy, uses transport proteins, molecules are moved against their gradient. In cystic fibrosis patients, a chloride transport pump does not work correctly. How does this cause cystic fibrosis? Normally, chloride ions are pumped just outside the plasma membrane, and water follows by osmosis. The water layer provides lubrication, such that mucus from cells lining the lungs can be moved up and out of the lungs. Cystic fibrosis patients lack a functional pump, such that mucus sticks and is not eliminated, leading to asphyxiation. When a neuron is transmitting a nervous impulse, it releases a chemical neurotransmitter by the process of exocytosis. When a white blood cell what we call macrophage, fights off infecting bacteria. It uses the process of dash to eat the bacterial cells. Endocytosis. Atom, molecule, cell, tissue, organ, organ system, organism. Name in order of most complex. Hello friends, thank you very much for attending to human biology. Please like, share and subscribe. I'm Joshua Mugabi. Thank you. Bye bye for now.